services, transitional housing, cash assistance and cash for work programs to provide income and to create jobs, support for small enterprises and agriculture to revive livelihoods, reactivating the banking system, provision of psychological support, education and health services, assistance for persons with disabilities, including rehabilitation and assistive devices. 1 month after the ceasefire, hopefully in the coming month, November, Egypt will convene the Gaza Reconstruction Conference in Cairo. This conference will serve as the central platform for mobilizing international resources and partnerships, while reaffirming that all efforts are anchored in Palestinian national ownership and leadership. The government of Palestine reaffirms that effective governance in Gaza is an essential pillar of recovery and stability. Without strong and unified national institutions, the risks of inefficiency, duplication, and eventual collapse of basic services will be dangerously high. The reactivation of legitimate Palestinian institutions in Gaza will therefore proceed in full alignment with national laws and the Palestinian Authority public administration institutions. Palestine already possesses unified systems in key sectors in Gaza, such as health, education, water and sanitation, land, civil registry, public finance, and taxation. These systems, recognized by international partners, must be empowered and strengthened, not replaced by parallel or temporary structures that would be incapable of sustaining effective service delivery on the ground. This process will be implemented as a part of an ongoing national reform program focused on transparency, accountability, and institutional performance, with active support and audit of international partners. It will also reinforce the political and territorial unity between Gaza and the West Bank and contribute to restoring credible governance framework for the State of Palestine. The Palestinian Authority's approach on the issue of security in Gaza as a central pillar of its broader national vision for unity, sovereignty, and the realization of the independent State of Palestine on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. The government, therefore, reaffirms that effective security and governance in Gaza must be nationally owned and led, rooted in national institutions and consistent with international law. The PA remains open to coordination and assistance from Arab countries, international partners, in support of stabilization efforts and civilian protection, including, where necessary, a temporary and clearly defined international or regional presence mandated by the United Nations Security Council and implemented in coordination with the State of Palestine. Such arrangements must be time-bound and fully subject to Palestinian sovereignty and legal authority. Police training programs initiated with Egypt and Jordan are already underway. Recruitment and training can be scaled up according to operational needs. The Palestinian police and security, all from Gaza, will gradually operate in Gaza after the war, but always in accordance with the Palestinian laws and under full command and coordination of the Palestinian Authority's leadership. The government is ready for the phased reactivation of Gaza's borders with Egypt, in close coordination with Egypt and the EU. Technical discussions are advancing with the EU in secure crossing operations, customs systems, and integrated policing units. In conclusion, the government of Palestine has built a coherent technically grounded and institutionally led framework for Gaza recovery and reconstruction. The Gaza Recovery and Reconstruction Implementation Program, the Arab Plan, and the established operational structures and financing mechanisms, we are all ready to move from planning to implementation the moment post-ceasefire arrangements are finalized. Our message to the international community is clear. Gaza's reconstruction must be Palestinian-led, Arab-backed, and internationally supported, ensuring not only the rebuilding of Gaza, but also the restoration of hope, dignity, and stability.
Okay, two more questions from this side, please. Yeah.
Hi, Prime Minister Mustafa, thank you for this. Just building on the previous question, I'm Louis Baudouin-Armand from AFP News Agency. Building on the previous question, I'm just curious to know whether the Americans or any other international partners gave you any guarantees or told you about how they will ensure the PA has a seat at the governance table in Gaza. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now I need to be biased. We need the local media, if possible. Anybody here from the local media? عربي. Okay, يلا تفضلي.
شكرا دولة رئيس الوزراء. إيمان عرقات BBC. يعني فيما يتعلق بهذه المرحلة الانتقالية، هل هناك أسماء متفق عليها فصائليا مع حركة حماس فيما يتعلق بالمجلس الانتقالي؟ سؤالي الثاني فيما يتعلق بالأموال التي أشرتم إليها وتحتاجها يعني هذه الخطة للتعافي المبكر وإعادة الإعمار تحتاج للدعم. هل توفرت شبكة الأمان المالية العربية؟ هل لديكم ضمانات دولية لتوفير كل هذه الأموال التي سوف تحتاجونها خلال على أقل تقدير السنوات المقبلة؟ شكرا.
اوكي شكرا. برايم مينستر. اوكي الصبية. اوكي يب.
Emily Gordine from Deutsche Welle, thank you so much. You mentioned earlier that Palestinian police is already training in Egypt and that it will enter Gaza eventually when the war is over. According to Trump, the war is over. How's that training going? When do you expect the Palestinian police to enter Gaza? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Prime Minister.
Okay. Can you hear me now without a microphone? Okay. So I'll first make a general response about guarantees, because I think there were several questions about guarantees. So we did not ask for guarantees from anyone, and I don't think it's really necessary in our case. This is our country. We're talking about Gaza, which is part of the state of Palestine under international law, under international agreement, including, by the way, under Oslo agreement with Israel. So there is no question in our minds about our right to govern in Gaza. We know that there is an occupation in Gaza today, just like there is an occupation in the West Bank today. So occupation will not prevent us from exercising our rights under international law. But second, obviously, this is not an easy situation. There is the war did stop, but a lot of arrangements still are not in place in governance, in security, in logistics, and so on and so forth. But we will be working hard with all our partners in the region, international partners, international institutions, to make sure that all these issues will be addressed as we move forward. So having difficulties and obstacles should not be a reason for us to be prepared, have the plans, have the teams, work on the issues that needs to be resolved. So that's my response on the guarantees. In terms of needs also for the successful implementation of the program, I think the needs goes beyond planning, obviously, but it also starts with that. We are now at the stage of planning, and we have done that successfully, and in coordination with international partners, regional partners, and based on previous experience and international best practice. That doesn't mean that everything is ready for implementation tomorrow. We know that there are governance issues, there are security issues, there are financial issues that needs to be worked on. On the financial issue, as we all know, the beginning will be with the international conference that will be held in Egypt. That's the place where pledges will be asked for from the partners. But in preparation of that, we have prepared these documents that I mentioned earlier, because donors need to know what are they investing in. So we hope that the donors will be forthcoming, will be supported, provide financial and technical assistance to help us implement the program. But there are already also discussions with international partners, development partners, on the arrangement for accepting these financial resources, putting them in a trust fund, how the trust fund will be managed. It was agreed how it will be audited, and how the money would be dispersed, so that we all, as we go to the international conference for reconstruction, donors will also be assured that the money will be well managed, audited, and will spent. Now, nothing will happen if the border crossings are not opened. Therefore, I talked briefly about Rafah, but Rafah is only a short-term solution, primarily for humanitarian and civil issues. As you know, the crossings that we need to open are the crossings between Gaza and Israel. And Israel, therefore, is expected to open the borders so that goods and material, equipment, and so on can get into Gaza and reconstruction can then be implemented. So there are logistical issues. Security issues, of course, we have witnessed some events last couple of days, but also Israel continues to occupy most of Gaza and controls the access to it. So this has to change, obviously. But again, that's a discussion for a different place for a different time, because whether the meeting in Sharm el-Sheikh or other meetings that will follow, well, I'm sure will address the issue of security arrangements and the implementation of it as agreed between the parties in Sharm el-Sheikh. So yes, of course, security is required. Logistics has to be facilitated. Money is needed. But this will be, of course, the work that we have to do, us and our partners, in the coming days, weeks, and months. So I'll say now a couple of words in Arabic for questions in Arabic. يعني أود أن أقول أيضا بالنسبة للتفاهمات الوطنية، وهي أمر أساسي، لأنه في النهاية جهدنا الوطني هو موجه لكل أبناء شعبنا الفلسطيني وخاصة في قطاع غزة، وبالتالي نحن معنيين بأن يكون هناك جهود وتكامل في الجهود بين كل الأطراف. وأعتقد أن الإعلانات التي تمت مؤخرا بهذا الخصوص مبشرة بالخير، ونعتقد أن هذه لن تكون مشكلة في المرحلة المقبلة. لذلك التركيز الآن هو على أن يقوم الجانب الإسرائيلي بالوفاء بالتزاماته، سواء من ناحية انسحابه التدريجي من غزة أو من فتح المعابر وإدخال المساعدات ومن ثم السماح بإعادة الإعمار. لكن لا أريد أن أحد أن يعتقد بأنه أن هناك نزاع فلسطيني داخلي على الحكم في قطاع غزة. هناك تفاهمات تكفي لأن نقول ونحن واثقين بأنه الجانب الفلسطيني لن يكون سببا في تعطيل هذه الأمور. I think there was a question about border crossings بالعربي. يعني الخطة كما ذكرنا سابقا هي خطة تم إعدادها من خبراء فلسطينيين بقيادة وزارة التخطيط الفلسطينية وبمساعدة من الخبراء دوليين وعرب، وتغطي هذه الخطة 56 برنامجا يغطوا 18 قطاعا ومئات من المشاريع تم إعدادها بطريقة مهنية، وتبني على الخطة العربية التي تم التوافق عليها في مؤتمر القمة الطارئ في القاهرة أو في مصر شهر 3 سنة 25، واحتياجات التمويل التقديرية بناء على المؤسسات الدولية المحدثة، لأنه كان في أرقام سابقة ب 53 مليار دولار، لكن هذا كان تاريخها هو شهر 10 السنة اللي فاتت. الآن في شهر 10 25 الرقم ارتفع للأسف من 53 مليار إلى 67 مليار دولار. قمنا بإعداد البرامج اللازمة والبرامج التنفيذية اللازمة، وإن شاء الله مجرد أن تتوفر لنا البيئة الداعمة للتنفيذ سنباشر في عملية التنفيذ. احنا طبعا نعي أن هناك احتياجات إدارية ولوجستية ومالية وأمنية من أجل إنجاح هذا البرنامج، لكن طبعا كل شيء يبدأ بالخطة والدعم لهذه الخطة، ومن ثم إن شاء الله مؤتمر الإعمار سيتولى موضوع التمويل، المباحثات السياسية والمتابعات السياسية ستتولى موضوع الأمن والحكم، وإن شاء الله الأمور تسير بشكل جيد. لا نريد أنه أحد يعني يحبط من العثرات اللي بتصير من وقت لآخر، هذا شيء طبيعي في أوضاع من هذا النوع، لكن إحنا نقول بشكل واضح أنه مهما كانت التحديات والصعوبات، موضوع إغاثة أهلنا في غزة وإعادة إعمار غزة وإعادة بناء مؤسسات في غزة وربطها ودمجها في مؤسسات الحكومة الفلسطينية في الضفة هي أمر وطني ضروري وأولوية وطنية سنعمل على إنجازها بدعم من الإخوة العرب والشركاء الدوليين. شكرا. المراحل يعني تتشكل من 3 مراحل على مدى 5 سنوات. طبعا احنا نعرف انه يمكن العمل ياخذ اكثر من 5 سنوات، لكن يعني كل شيء يجي في وقته. على ال5 سنوات في 3 مراحل. المرحله الاولى لمده 6 شهور، احتياجاتها تقديرنا حوالي 3.5 مليار، وفي اولويات معروفه لها علاقه بالواقع على الارض. المرحله الثانيه لمده 3 سنوات وتكلفتها الاوليه حوالي 30 مليار دولار، والمرحله الثالثه والاخيره نستكمل فيها ما نستطيع، وان شاء الله انه الاموال تتوفر بمبلغ 67 مليار على خلال هذه الفتره حتى تكتمل كل الاعمال. What is your question again?
My question was, first of all, 12 months from now,
Okay.
who do you think will be running Gaza? And my second question was, do you think Hamas should disarm now? And I ask that again respectfully.
Sure, no problem. In terms of governing Gaza, I cannot give you a date on what will happen in 12 months or in 3 days for that matter. We know the reality on the ground. There are real issues, has to do with Hamas, has to do with Israel, has to do with financial needs, has to do with security arrangements, has to do with the United Nations, has to do with so many stakeholders. So we cannot predict. I can tell you the following. I can tell you that as a Palestinian Authority, Gaza is part of our governance, and we will work day and night to make sure that Gaza in 12 months from now will be under full Palestinian sovereignty and governance. Whether this will be realized or not depends on so many variables, but that's our objective. Our international partners, our regional partners have committed to us, told us that they will support us to achieve this in different occasions. So is the international community in the New York Declaration. So I would like to believe that this is, in 12 months from now, the Palestinian Authority will be fully operational in Gaza. But even in the absence of a full operation in Gaza, Palestinian Authority is already in Gaza providing services, including water, health services, education services. Just day before yesterday, we have announced the results of the high school diploma exams, for example, where students already under fire and in no houses, in no electricity, luckily with internet available, they have taken the high school diploma exam and so on. So we are not waiting for a full governance, we are not waiting for full funding, and we are not waiting for full governance. We will do everything we can to do that. I hope this answers that question. In terms of disarming Hamas, I think the issue is already addressed in the 20-point plan announced by President Trump. So I'd like to, like most of you, believe that this plan will be implemented, and the item related to disarming will also be implemented. So I have no reason to question the plan or its implementation. So we are all, after all, looking for, as I said, a state of Palestine with unification of all institutions, and in this context, there's no need for any factions to carry arms. We believe in one state, one government, one law, and one set of guns.
No, I'm really sorry.
No, we're done.
I think we need to finish this part of the meeting to move to the next part of the meeting. So please, for the media, if you can exit the room to allow us to continue the meeting, please. Media, please. Thank you for your interest, and thank you for coming to cover the meeting today.